Hello everyone and welcome to Retro Brick Reviews, where today we'll be taking a look at the recently revealed LEGO Star Wars Ultimate Collector Series Tantive 4. This is going to be set number 75244 when it releases on May 3rd of 2019, with 1,768 pieces, 5 minifigures, and 1 other figure for a price of $200 US. This is a really cool, accurate set. Great display piece for fans of Star Wars, as the Tantive 4 was the very first ship to ever appear on screen in the series. A surprising amount of good play features. Yeah, let's begin. Starting off, here's just everything included in the set, and yeah, you don't really get much aside from the ship. The only actual build is just literally 2 pieces that work as just a little thing that you can put your spare spring shooters into. That's it. But yeah, the model will have spring-loaded shooters, which are stuck up at the front. I don't really have a good image of that, but there are spring shooters up at the front of the cabin. I imagine there will be a remote mechanism to use those. You also get a couple of stud shooters up at the main rotating cannon. Bit unfortunate that there aren't any places that you could put your shooters so that you could shoot backwards at an approaching Star Destroyer like in the opening scene of the movie, but I don't mind that much. Mostly because the actual design of the ship, which, for a UCS set is really what matters, looks so beautiful. I love the design of the Tantive 4, and I'm so glad that I'll finally be able to get one, since I did miss out on the 2009 version. And obviously also the, I want to say, 2002 UCS version. You know, the Super UCS version that didn't have an interior and used, like, string to hold itself together. Old UCS sets were kind of weird. Anyway, but yeah, starting off at the front for the cockpit, you can see that we have 4 of the UCS Millennium Falcon cockpit pieces in white with red stripe printing around the edges. It's not super easy to tell in this picture, but in other pictures you can see that the 2 upper pieces that have the stickering on for, like, the windshield, that unfortunately, that part is a sticker, which is unfortunate, but the red stripe is printed, so that's nice at least. Maybe I would have, it does kind of annoy me that we do have to sticker on such an important detail. I don't really mind it not being see-through on this one, because that does mean that there isn't an awkward, clear outline for the piece. But to be fair, there already is an awkward line between the top and bottom halves of the stripe, so I don't know. It's hard to say on whether it should have been transparent, but I think it should have been printed, because they could have afforded to have 3 separate prints for those in the set, I think. The set is definitely a bit overpriced, and having those printed definitely would have helped with that. But anyway, but you do get some nice greebling on the sides and top. The neck is very long and thin, and it's very well done, much better than the 2009 version. Then you have that main middle section with the 4 turrets. That looks really good. I love the use of the ski poles. Lots of great greebling on the sides. Inside of there is actually going to be a nice quaint interior section. Behind that, you get a section with some fins, which is, the stickers are a bit annoying, but I think these fins are the only thing about the set's design that I actually dislike. More than just being annoying, those are actually wrong, because those fins shouldn't have just, the small fin area. They should basically extend from that area that's going to have the interior all the way back to the escape pod bay without any gap. That's just not present here, so I think what they should have done is maybe just do something with wedge plates. I don't know. Yeah, but the escape pods look nice. They are detachable. You can fit a couple figures in them. Pretty cool stuff for such a small design. You have the radar dish at the back, which is brick-built and looks really good. And at the back you have your 11 engines with tons of greebling, tons of great design. At the back you have those wheel pieces, which look super good. They're a bit too dark in color. They probably should be more silver than gunmetal. But it's a minor thing. If you don't like it, you could easily swap them out for other parts. I think it looks pretty cool. Sorry about that. But, so anyway, Here we have a look at the cockpit of the ship, where you can fit 2 figures in, one on each side. They each have these very nice seats and a control panel, or well, I'd imagine there's one on each side. And yeah, I like the separation between the two that's just caused from how this is built. I do like the design of the seats and the control panels, and this is just a very nicely designed cockpit. I think it looks pretty cool. Basically about as good as I could expect, especially considering that seeing as how there's no way to see the figures in the cockpit, this area didn't even really have to exist. Like, they could have just not given us a cockpit space, and certainly not given us one that looks this nice, and it would have been fine. So this is really LEGO going the extra mile. And I mean, I know that it's not super complex to build by the looks of it. I don't know, I just think it's very nice. Adds a nice extra, pizzazz to the set, I guess. I like it. Then behind the neck, we have the rotating turret, which, yeah, you get a couple of stud guns, but they're not too noticeable, so I don't really mind. And if you don't like them, you could easily remove them. They're not super integral. You could really just replace their space with, like, a 1x2 plate. Maybe do a bit more of integral building to still keep the sort of shaping of them. I don't know. I'm not removing them, though. I honestly think they look kind of nice, is how they're used here. And then you do also have the 2 realistic cannons, which can move up and down. Here we have the main interior area, which is this meeting room, which has a couple of seats around this table. And here you can see some of the figures, and you also have a lot of space around the outsides, where you have clips for accessories. Looks like a little other sort of smaller table, like a holographic projection platform off on the side. You do have a good amount of room on the sides to fit other figures. This is a pretty cool area. I think this is really nice, since as much as I would have loved if they could have included like one of the hallways in the set, there was no way to with the shape of the model at this scale, so I think that having this is better than trying to do something and doing it poorly, because this is something that's not too impressive, sure, but it looks pretty nice. I really like the look of this interior section. It's neat. Behind that, we have just one of the 2 escape pods shown here. They can both be detached, and both are the same build, I would presume. I really like the greebling design up at the front, and yeah, these are very simple. They're definitely an improvement on the designs of the original, though, which I'm pretty sure were just like a couple pieces, which is what LEGO did a lot for escape pods back in that sort of era of the mid to late 2000s. This is much preferable, just fully brick-built. It looks fantastic. Obviously, this is without the roof, and yeah, you can fit 2 figures in. I mean, what else could you want from an escape pod, really? I mean, yeah, sure, obviously, it doesn't look like too much like the one from Episode 4, but that's because as for escape pods, LEGO's using the, the pods on the side of the ship that already look like escape pods. It's not accurate exactly, but it's just a smart way of doing things, and I appreciate that LEGO did it on the 2009 version, and I continue to appreciate it here. It's a very smart design choice. Anyway, and then here, right in front of those, you can see Captain Antilles, and he is just loading in your spring shooters, as you do, so I'm guessing that section in between the radar dish and the main interior area, you'll just be able to remove a little section and put in your spring shooters. Neat. And here we just have the ship as a whole, and this is just another nice angle for it. This is what we see on the front of the box, and it just looks really cool. All sorts of great greebling. The dark red is very striking all around with the striping. Most of it is brick built, which is good. Looks like there might be one sticker up towards the back of the neck. And then, of course, you also have the printing on the cockpit pieces. And here you can see that the sort of windshield part of the cockpit is clearly stickered, which is, again, unfortunate. But I don't mind it too much. Yeah, really cool look. Here we can see it more from the back. Those engines are so cool, even if they're not entirely accurately colored. They just look fantastic. And we have such great greebling, lots of paint roller pieces by the looks of it. Some stickers, which I think are fine. And yeah, this just looks really cool. Oh, and then here you can see that feature with the radar dish where it just pulls up and it can be a handle, which is, very fun. And it makes such a large ship, because this ship, I forgot to mention earlier, it's gonna be over 2 feet long. And this just makes it much easier to just pick it up and swoosh it. You can swoosh it, it's great. I love swooshing things. We all love swooshing things, don't we? Swooshing things is the best, y'all. But yeah, so starting off with our figures, our first one is General... Or she's not a general yet. Sorry, I saw The Force Awakens like a day ago, so I was thinking of that. Princess Leia Organa. And this is a really cool figure. The majority of it is just the same version that appears in the $30 Death Star set, the Death Star Escape. But, she has that same face print and torso print, and the new hairpiece, which is nice. She gets a silver blaster, which is cool, but what's exclusive about this figure is the new dress piece in white, with some nice exclusive printing. I mean, it's very simple, but it's cool, since we've never gotten Leia in a dress, and it is accurate to her appearance in A New Hope. So it's a really good choice. And here you can see her just with her alternate face. And she does also come with a pair of plain white legs, so you can have her sitting down, which is nice. Our next figure is definitely the most exciting, I'm sure, for a lot of people. It is Bail Organa. Here, based off of his appearance in Rogue One, a Star Wars story, although I'm sure that a lot of people, including myself, are probably just going to use this head and hairpiece for an Episode 3 Bail Organa, since, that's kind of what we actually remember him from. And I think this is a pretty cool figure. The hairpiece is a good choice. The face print does work very well for Jimmy Smits, and it is a new one to my knowledge. The torso is accurate to Rogue One, I think. He was in the movie for like 6 seconds, so I might be wrong, but it looks close. It's good. He has a cape, which is nice. He gets the pistol piece in silver, which is nice. A lot of great silver blasters in this set, which is cool, since silver blasters are just generally cool to get. They're nice. And here you can see his alternate face, which is a bit angry. I don't like this one as much, but it's alright. Our next figure is my favorite of the set, Captain Ramus Antilles. And he looks really good. He gets a new face print and torso print. The helmet is the same Rebel helmet since 2009 that I've always thought was such a smart thing, where instead of having to print on the black, which would, be a lot more expensive, they just have a slot where you pop in the classic Lego visor piece, and that's the black stripe, and it's smart. The face print works well for the actor, I think. Yeah, another silver blaster as well. Alternate face is for when he's being choked, and I think this works pretty well. Definitely a much darker version of it than what we got in the 2009 set. Although, to be frank, here he is really just scared, and it's not entirely positive that he's being choked. Meanwhile, with the 2009 version, you know exactly what's going on there. Which I think... I've always loved that 2009 face where his mouth is just a squiggly. That's always been hilarious to me. But this is definitely the more accurate choice. The set does also include one standard Rebel Fleet Trooper. Only one. I think it would have been nice to have gotten 2, but oh well. This guy's pretty cool. Yeah, he's nice. Nice torso print. Nice face print. He's not new, though. This is the same one that came in the Juniors TIE Fighter set from earlier this year, but it's cool to get one here. Here's his alternate face, where he's more angry, which works pretty well. Then we have a C-3PO, who's the exact same one we've been getting for, well, I think the first time we got this exact figure would have been in 2014, I want to say. I can't think of the exact set, but I think 2014, maybe 2015. I know we've had this 3PO for a good long while. But it's the most recent version. We've gotten it in a bunch of sets, several UCS sets even. And I'm still waiting for them to just buckle down and give him the double molded silver leg. He just needs like one double molded leg and then this figure would be perfect. I don't need arm printing or leg printing. I just want him to have the one leg be double molded. So he has the silver foot. It looks super awkward to just have a tiny bit of silver printed on and then just have it cut off. And when I say awkward, I mean it looks bad. It looks really bad and they should fix it, but they're not going to. Ever. Because this is Lego Star Wars, and this had already had, like, way too many new prints than you normally would get, and that's probably why this set is $30 overpriced. Going off of price to part, probably even more than that in terms of value of what you get. Because this set has, like, 5 new prints, and that's a lot. Oh, and then our last figure is R2-D2. You know this boy. We all have several of this boy. He's a good boy. So yeah, that's the Rebel Blockade Runner. Is it a really good set? Yes. Will I be picking it up day one? No. Is it overpriced? Quite. Because, like, this set, just looking at piece count, I would say 170, maybe 180 would be good for the part count, price to part. In terms of value, I'd say more like 160, because it is just one ship that doesn't have too many features. Like, you have a little interior section, and you have a nice cockpit, and you get a couple exclusive figures. I don't know. I feel as though if LEGO wanted to make this $200, what they should have done is, okay, so here's what I would have done. Number one, maybe not no stickers, but definitely print the cockpit up at the front. Like, don't have there be any stickers on those Falcon windshield pieces. Have those be printed. Okay, so that's a big thing. That's a big part of it. Number two, better minifigures, because Leia, I think, is pretty much what I'd expect. I mean, like, I'm certainly wasn't expecting them to make a new mold for her with her hood up, and I'm glad they didn't do that, because it would have been exclusive to this set, and I would have been glad for them to have done that, because it would have been cool, but what I'm trying to say is that they wouldn't have done that, and I'm glad that they didn't just decide to, like, take a part of the budget by including just, like, a white hood piece. Or like the Lloyd Garmadon hood piece, but just with, like, in white, because that would have sucked. So I'm glad they didn't do that. I like that we get Bail Organa, but it's weird he's in his Rogue One costume. I feel as though what they should have done is sort of do it. And I think they did that, because that's happening concurrent right before Episode 4. But I think what they should have done is based off of Episode 3, where we actually have him on the Tantive, so give his figure a different new torso print for that, and then also include, for Episode 3, minifigures of Yoda and Obi-Wan. I mean, obviously that's just a suggestion, but I think it would have been cool, and it wouldn't have really required them to make any new prints to just include more figures. But there is one figure that really should be here, and it's really sad that he's not, because it's starting to seem more and more like we will never get this boy, which is sad, because 2019, 20th anniversary of LEGO Star Wars, the saga's coming to an end. I think it's high time that we get a LEGO minifigure of Rebel Friend. And I mean, let's be real, this set is a 20th anniversary set. Even more than any of the official ones, this set is a clear remake of the original 2009 Tantive 4. And it should have come with an exclusive figure to celebrate that, and the exclusive minifigure should have been Rebel Friend from LEGO Star Wars 2, the original trilogy. And who knows, I mean, for all we know, maybe he'll be the promotional set that we get for May the 4th, but that's very unlikely. And luckily, I did actually take a couple days after the set was revealed to talk about this, because now, just today, as of when I'm recording this, it was revealed that there's going to be a new LEGO Star Wars game coming out in 2019, and my hope is that Rebel Friend will be the pre-order bonus for that, because judging by what we know about the game and what we've heard, it looks like it's going to be an HD remaster of the complete saga with new levels based on the new trilogy and the spin-off anthology movies. And that sounds cool, and that would be the perfect opportunity to finally get a minifigure of Rebel Friend. Because, like, seriously, I want my Lego Rebel Friend Lego. He's very simple. How could it be this difficult? He's Rebel Friend. He is Rebel Friend. I mean, like, really, though, like, honestly, this set's pretty cool. I'm not picking it up day one, but I am definitely going to be picking it up at some point. I'm not going to miss out on this one like I missed out on the 2009 version, because again, I love the Rebel Blockade Runner. I have so much nostalgia for this ship, both because of its ties to Star Wars in general, but more specifically because of its ties to Lego Star Wars, the original trilogy, with this being the first level, and just in general being really cool. I love the design. I love all of the details. I love the color scheme. The set is fantastic, just a bit expensive. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I also hope to see you all in my next video. Farewell, everyone.